Good morning, Safari Mack fans, and welcome back to another special episode. I'm Safari Mack, your guide and host, helping you make connections to the wild. If you are just joining me from last week's special double feature episode, which was our very unusual surprise last-minute South American animal, the sloth, we are now beginning to leave the continent and head up to North America by taking a little shortcut through the Caribbean Sea. But before we begin today's episode, as always, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in, and if you're new to my series, hit that like and subscribe button so you can stay tuned for special updates and announcements as we continue our journey throughout the world. In addition to that, check out my Facebook page where you can see different updates from conservation projects all over the world, as well as one or two interesting animal facts from time to time. And as always, if you have questions about me or about an animal or about something I didn't cover in any of my episodes, you can always send me an email, which you'll find the link to down in the description below. But now today's special episode was actually a special request by one of my subscribers who asked me if I would be able to do this video just when we first landed in South America. Here, I would like to honor that promise. Today, we're looking at one of the smartest invertebrates, as well as the smartest fish in the world, the octopus. If we're ready to uncover some of the mysterious things about this creature, let's put on our diving gear and take the plunge. Let's start off with its origins and its unusual family. Now, this is our Earth, 420 million years ago. This was a time period called the Devonian period, otherwise known as the Age of the Fishes. So here's one of our first wild things. Dinosaurs, birds, even mammals, they had not yet evolved, so they don't count. So fish were thought to, first, when life began on Earth, first it was very tiny microscopic creatures, then came the earliest fishes. As time passed, they would evolve into their own species, and they would create their own bloodlines. They would eventually even help form the way of life for all living creatures on land today. But today, we're just focusing on octopus. So now, I'd like you to meet the vampropod. This creature first evolved around 328 million years ago, and then by around 240 million years ago, this creature would eventually be the bloodline and the ancestor for the modern day octopus and squid. Now, when you think about it, this creature, with the fact that these two have survived for this long, they're what you would call a living fossil, and they go right alongside with sharks, jellyfish, even the humble horseshoe crab. So these are what you call living fossils, meaning they really haven't had to change a whole lot in the millions of years that they've been on this planet. But now, here's what I mean by an unusual family. Believe it or not, the octopus is a member of the mollusk family, which includes clams, oysters, mussels, as well as snails. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. These guys don't have a shell. How can they be related? Allow me to explain. The name mollusca actually means stomach foot, while the cephalopoda, which is what you call cephalopods, squids and octopus, they are what you call head foot. Now, generally speaking, the octopus can easily swim somewhat like a jellyfish, except they're more likely to be crawling around on top of their stomach. So hence, this is how we have our connection to these creatures. It's unusual, but this is evolution. There's so much more that we have yet to discover about life. Let's talk about the octopus's life out in the ocean. Now, the octopus is known to inhabit tropical, subtropical, and even temperate waters all over the world. So they are known to hang out at coral reefs, sand deserts, or sandbanks, even seagrass beds. Generally, these creatures live a solitary lifestyle, all about being where the rest of the ocean isn't. And it's only thanks to their amazing adaptability and special features that help them to survive, especially from these kind of predators, like my friend here, the shark. Even Dolphins are known to be predators. Orcas, dolphins, and of course, believe it or not, even larger fish can. And I'm not saying just sharks, but like even other fish can kill and eat octopus. But it's only thanks to their amazing adaptability, as well as their amazing intelligence, that has allowed them to survive for millions of years. As we know, they can easily change colors almost as fast as you can change your mind, and they can easily figure out different ways to survive. How do they do this? How are they so smart? It's only thanks to this big central brain, which then has other brains at the base at their arms. So in total, this makes it 9 brains living. And that's pretty smart for an invertebrate or a creature with no backbone. Now, when it comes to having kids, though, that's something that's considered to be the last act on Earth. And I literally do mean the last act. So females will seek out a male that is usually a little smaller than she is, but it could be larger than any other males nearby. After breeding, the male dies. The female will be carrying around this next generation a little bit for around at least 4 to 5 months before mom then lays up to tens of thousands of eggs, and then she spends the next 6 to 7 months just watching over her brood, not even going off to eat to make sure that it's safe from predators. By the time that the eggs hatch, sadly, mom dies. So this really is considered to be one of the ultimate forms of self-sacrifice. And an amazing thing about with their intelligence, because the octopus doesn't really show parental care, all this is all self-taught. So this is what really gives them a higher advantage over most other creatures in the ocean. Generally speaking, the octopus doesn't even really live a long life. Despite the over 300 different kinds of species of octopus, they generally all age differently. Some live only a year, some only live around 3 years, some are known to live 5 years. So it's not exactly the longest existence, but that's kind of a good thing, because I think eventually if they got smarter, they probably would try and take over the world. Even our world, maybe. But I'm just kidding with you with that. Let's talk about dinner for 8. As we know, the octopus is an amazing predator, and it's only thanks to their intelligence and their adaptability that give them another edge of being a predator. So they are known to eat crabs, snails, fish, and if they're really hungry or if they're really desperate, they've even been known to attack and kill sharks. But now, there's even a video of octopus actually attacking and killing a crab on the land. That's right. If you want to see the video for yourself, be sure to check out the link, which I will leave for you down in the comment section below. I really encourage you to take a look. It's amazing. But now, how are they able to catch their food? Believe it or not, the octopus has a sharp beak at the base of their mouth, which actually carries a kind of venom. Just a few bites, and the prey is done. There's no escape. And it's also amazing to their intelligence. They're usually known to crawl around different holes or different spots and pull out whatever they can find. So shrimp, anything smaller. And of course, they have their amazing pounce attack, where they will climb to an area and wait, and then when the prey is right there, they jump on them and make their kill. Now, in terms of human culture, these creatures have kind of been seen as monsters. Like, of course, the famous Kraken of Norse legends, but in other parts of the world, they've actually been seen in a different light. So, in the Pacific region, such as South America, Polynesia, and Japan, they're seen differently. So this was Nakika, who was an ancient octopus god of the Gilbert Islands and was thought to have originally built the Pacific Islands. In Hawaiian culture, the god Kanaloa would take on the form of an octopus. And there's even a tie in Japanese culture that they are attributed with healing powers. So, unfortunately, for today's episode, that's all I have for the octopus. Join me next week as we uncover some of the amazing wild things about the octopus. But until next week, this is Safari Mack, and I'll see you all out there in the Caribbean Ocean Sea.